This is a 1986 Audi Treser Super 5000. This was a car that was originally built as an Audi 5000 and then went right across the street to the Treser factory and they built it into what it is today. It's got some pretty cool features specific to the Treser 5000. It's got a body kit that features a rear apron, extensions on the doors, fenders, and a front apron which has a split lower lip. Looks kind of cool. Now, back in the 80s, if you wanted one of these, you could get one from two dealerships in the US: Scottsdale Porsche and Audi, or Allen Johnson Porsche and Audi. One was in Arizona, one was in California. They had to be special ordered through them, and the kit was not available separately from the whole car. So if you wanted it, you had to buy it put on in Germany by the Treser people. Now, in addition to all the lower ground effects, there was this monster spoiler made of foam that goes across the back and down the quarter panels on each side, and you can see that the decals say Treser in front of the Audi logo, and then they say Super 5000. Now, I don't know Walter Treser personally, but I know that every piece of this body kit has his name. Put his name, his first name, right here, Walter Treser. It says it on every piece of the body kit. Now, the car also has these noticeable flares on the fenders. It's got them in the front and in the rear. This was, you can clearly see that from the rust that's happened right here. This was beat out of the original panel. There's no weld there. That's not an extension. They actually beat out and flared the original sheet metal and put a little bit of filler on it to make it nice and smooth. Now, by far one of the quirkiest features of the outside of the car are the wheels. Not only are they directional, they're active aero, and they are designed to actually suck air out of the wheel and cool the brakes off by evacuating that hot air. And it doesn't stop there. They are not an inch size. They're 415 millimeters in diameter. So that's about 16.335 or something like that. And I believe they're 8.3 inches wide. And there are multiple companies that you can buy wheels that size. But as far as I know, Michelin, they make these TRX tires. You can see it's got a very aggressive tread pattern. These wheels and these tires are original to this car. It only has 58,000 miles, and all four wheels. Now, for the interior, it was mostly standard 5000 interior, with the exception of a Treser steering wheel. Now, this is a leather steering wheel, and I would consider it a sports steering wheel. It's got a very ergonomic grip, no airbag, obviously. Now, I know it's leather because this one has the original box for the steering wheel, and I believe that's German for the Treser steering wheel. But if you look here, there's leather. So it is, in fact, a leather steering wheel. Now, I don't know if they all had, the same interior. Obviously, they didn't. This one has blue cloth, which I've heard is more rare. This car clearly had quite a few speakers. This has the original Audi head unit, electric climate control. Clearly they were trying to be fancy. Little place to put your coins, fog lights. Pretty normal vent arrangement with two here, and two here. I don't see anything really abnormal about that. You'll notice these are rabbit door handles, so not much change there. Clearly Volkswagen knew something was right. They were going to keep using it. So the power seats had a memory on the driver's side. I'm sure that was fairly advanced for 1986. Looks like both side mirrors have their own control, little directional knob, and then of course power windows on all four, and I believe this is a window lock. Adjustable seat belt. It's pretty advanced for 1986. Now this particular car has 58,000 original miles. It clearly has spent some time in the sun. The gauge here is peeled off, but when I have it turned on, this top LCD screen does light up and does show the various symbols it's supposed to show. Got a little computer clock here which shows a few features. Now all the Super 5000 sold in North America were front wheel drive automatic, 3-speed. The same transmission used in a variety of Volkswagen Audi products. Good transmission, not particularly sporty. And like I said, every single part of the body kit Walter Treser put his name on. With, I guess his company was Walter Treser. That was the name, so he's got it on everything. And I don't know if any of you know, but he recently passed away, so R.I.P. Walter Treser. You did some great work, built some great cars. Now under the hood, we have a single overhead cam 10-valve 5-cylinder. This is the same block that pretty much all Audi 5-cylinders, the early ones, are based off of. This particular car, the Treser 5000, came with an MC code engine, which had 2 knock sensors on the front of the block right there. This car features Bosch CIS, continuous injection system fuel injection. This is an early car that has a warm-up regulator instead of the little solenoid that's computer controlled right here. So essentially, to make it run richer or leaner, they vary the pressure on the top of this fuel distributor plate to make it easier or harder to pull up on the fuel metering plate inside here under this boot. Now it does have an intercooler. There's an intercooler right here. You can see the intercooler goes about from the middle of the car over to here, and it feeds in from the bottom and out from the top. And you can see the turbo down there. The turbo is a K26 triple K turbo. It is oil and water cooled, so not not your oldest technology turbo, a little bit more advanced, but still not a ball bearing turbo. It's a bushing turbo. This is a fairly complicated car. If you take a look under the rain tray cover, you can see that the HVAC workings are immense. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of plastic, a few blower motors. So they definitely were trying to keep the passenger comfortable as much as you can. You see this little thing right here? They had a lot of heat soak problems with injectors. Once they would sit and get hot, they would have hard starting issues. So they actually have a blower motor blowing air onto the injectors down here themselves through this plastic fan looking thing. You see how it has holes right where the injectors would be? And that cooled them off. Now this car does have a side mounted radiator. I don't guess they had enough room up there with the intercooler and everything to stretch one all the way across. It does have distributor run ignition. You can see some of the turbo workings down there. It is not a cross flow head. The intake is on the top and the exhaust is on the bottom. So there is no air or coming in or going out of the engine on that side of the engine block.